This is Michael Falkner, and it's showtime at the May 22nd, 2012 edition of the Weekly Podioplex, brought to you by the Chronicle. I apologize for the tardiness of this episode. I fought the cold, and the cold won. Starting out with the box office report, this weekend's rundown kicks off with number 10, and The Pirates, Band of Misfits, down 3 from 7th. At number 9 is The Lucky One, down 4 from 5th. At number 8 is Think Like a Man, dropping 5 spots from last week's 3rd. In 7th is The Hunger Games, slipping 3 from 4th. In 6th place is The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, jumping up 2 from 8th. At 5th we have new release What to Expect When You're Expecting, opening with $10.5 million. That's lower than other recent pregnancy comedies, Baby Mama, which took $17.4 million, and The Backup Plan, which took $12.2 million. It also underwhelmed next to ensemble rom-com New Year's Eve, which scored $13 million. Targeted specifically at women in the month of May, speculation suggests that ads focusing on the dudes group sabotaged the marketing push for this one. In 4th place is last week's runner-up, Dark Shadows, adding $12.6 million for a total of $50.7 million. In 3rd place is new release The Dictator, bringing in $17.4 million for a 5-day total of $24.5 million overall. That's less than Borat's $26.5 million and Bruno's $30.6 million 3-day openers, which is actually admirable, considering that the movie is about a North African dictator who hates women, gays, minorities, and America. In 2nd is new release Battleship, sailing in with $25.5 million. That's a miss compared to Hasbro's recent toy-to-movie adaptations. Transformers started with $84.9 million, and G.I. Joe Rise of the Cobra debuted with $54.7 million. It also fared worse than Cowboys and Aliens, Battle Los Angeles, and John Carter. Holding the top spot for the 3rd week in a row was The Avengers, sinking the Battleship for another $55.6 million and a new total of $457.7 million. That's the second best 3rd weekend on record, behind Avatar's $68.5 million. It also broke the record for the fastest movie to $450 million, beating The Dark Knight by 10 days. It's currently 6th on the all-time domestic chart, and will pass Star Wars to move into the top 5 by next weekend. Let's close out the box office report with a look at what was winning in years gone by. 5 years ago in 2007, Shrek lost the throne to Captain Jack Sparrow. Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End was the winner with $114.7 million, which broke X-Men The Last Stand's record of $102.8 million for the highest Memorial Day weekend debut. 10 years ago in 2002, Star Wars Episode II Attack of the Clones held number 1 with $47.9 million. 20 years ago, Lethal Weapon 3 remained in first position with $27.6 million. 30 years ago in 1982, Conan the Barbarian was defeated by Rocky III and a $16 million debut. And 40 years ago in 1972, The Godfather kept the top spot for a second week after 10 weeks in release. That film took $3.5 million. The box office premieres for the week of May 25th want to make you forget about the Avengers, preferably in a flash. They start with Men in Black 3, a science fiction action comedy starring Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones, and Josh Brolin.
Who are we? We are no one.
Our mission is to monitor extraterrestrial activity on Earth.
Flacco, you know you're not supposed to be north of Canal Street.
Who is Flacco? Just relax, punk. They're looking for me, not you.
Crazy, right? 2 grown men talking to the wall, wall talking back. It's a mess. But hey, don't even worry about it. Incident report.
Access denied.
There are things out there you don't need to know.
That's not the lie you told me when you recruited me.
I promise you the secrets of the universe, nothing more.
Well, what other secrets are there?
Kay!
I'm looking for Kay. Have you seen him? Sort of a surly older gentleman. He smiles like this.
Kay has been dead for over 40 years.
Here, take this. Now all you have to do is jump.
You want me to jump?
Time jump.
Kay?
How do you know my name?
Agent J travels in time to MIB's early years in the 1960s to stop an alien from assassinating his friend Agent K and changing history. Men in Black 3 is rated PG-13. The next title this week is Moonrise Kingdom, a comedic drama starring Jared Gilman, Kara Hayward, and Bruce Willis.
What kind of bird are you?
I'm a sparrow. She's a dove.
No, I said, what kind of bird are you? Dear Susie, here's my plan.
Dear Sam, my answer is yes.
Dear Susie, 1.
Dear Sam, where?
Dear Susie, walk 400 yards due north from your house to the dirt path which has not got any name on it. Turn right and follow to the end. I will meet you in the meadow.
Who's missing?
A pair of young lovers flee their New England town, which causes a local search party to fan out and find them. Moonrise Kingdom is rated PG-13. The last wide release this week is The Chernobyl Diaries, a horror film starring Jesse McCartney, Jonathan Sadowski, and Olivia Dudley.
Here we go.
So, I know I said we're going to Moscow.
Yeah.
You guys ever heard of Chernobyl?
Yeah. That's where the nuclear disaster happened.
Yes. Have you heard of extreme tourism?
You're incredible.
Who's coming with Paul to Chernobyl?
Chernobyl.
This place was abandoned overnight. They had no time to take anything. Factories, schools, stores, apartments, everything's still there.
There is Pripyat, home to the workers and families of Chernobyl. Reactor number 4, where the disaster happened.
Is it safe?
I have Geiger counter to let us know if the radiation levels are high. Tell me if you see something moving in water.
Anybody else have a story like this?
We should go now. It's going to get dark soon. The wires have been destroyed. Контрольная точка Pripyat. Где вас носит?
Yeah, you hear that?
It sounds like a baby.
Are you sure we're out here alone?
Oh my God.
Was that an animal?
It was something else.
Come on, come on.
Where are we going? Come on!
We need to find them. If we go back here...
Oh, no, it's not.
We probably can tell if we have to go back.
No,
we have to go. Michael, no, we have to go.
Hello?
They're following us.
They're not following us. They're hunting us.
They got him! I'm not leaving without my brother! Please help us!
6 tourists hire an extreme tour guide who takes them to the abandoned city Pripyat, the former home to the workers of the Chernobyl nuclear reactor. During their exploration, they soon discover they are not alone. The Chernobyl Diaries is rated R. We have one title on limited release this week. That's The Intouchables, a comedic drama starring Francois Cluzet, Omar Sy, and Anne Lee Nye. After he becomes a quadriplegic from a paragliding accident, an aristocrat hires a young man from the projects to be his caretaker. The Intouchables is rated R. Next up is the home entertainment slate for the week of May 22nd. And we start off with new releases on DVD and Blu-ray, and that list kicks off with Red Tails, a drama starring Cuba Gooding Jr., Gerald McCraney, and David Oyelowo. A crew of African-American pilots in the Tuskegee training program, having faced segregation while being kept mostly on the ground during World War II, are called into duty under the guidance of Colonel A.J. Bullard. Red Tails is rated PG-13. The next release this week is This Means War, a comedy starring Reese Witherspoon, Chris Pine, and Tom Hardy. 2 top CIA operatives wage an epic battle against one another as they discover they are dating the same woman. This Means War is rated PG-13. Next up, we have The Woman in Black, a thriller starring Daniel Radcliffe, Janet McTeer, and Kieran Hinz. A young lawyer travels to a remote village where he discovers the vengeful ghost of a scorned woman is terrorizing the locals. The Woman in Black is rated PG-13. Next up is The Secret World of Arrietty, a family film starring Bridget Mendler, Amy Poehler, and Will Arnett. The Clock family are 4-inch tall people who live anonymously in another family's residence, borrowing simple items to make their home. Life changes with the Clocks when their daughter, Arrietty, is discovered. The Secret World of Arrietty is rated G. Next up is TV on DVD and Blu-ray. We'll start off with Sherlock Season 2, starring Benedict Cumberbatch, Martin Freeman, and Rupert Graves. Nominated for 4 Primetime Emmys, Sherlock is back with Benedict Cumberbatch as Holmes and Martin Freeman as Watson in 3 new stories. In a scandal in Belgravia, Sherlock gets embroiled in the complex plans of the dangerous and desirable Irene Adler, and finds himself employing every one of his remarkable skills to survive as the unlikely duo square off in a battle of wits and perhaps emotions. The Hounds of Baskerville whisk the increasingly popular detective and Watson to the wilds of Dartmoor, and face-to-face with the supernatural lurking in the eerie landscape. Meanwhile, Moriarty is still out there in the shadows and is determined to bring Sherlock down at whatever the cost in the Reichenbach Fall. With beguiling performances, witty scripts, and some of the most intriguing characters ever created, it's no wonder that Sherlock has proven to be a worldwide success. The next 2 titles come to you from the Survivor series. The first is Survivor Guatemala. Survivor Guatemala, the 11th season in the long-running series, strands the competitors in the dense jungles of Guatemala amidst the backdrop of the beautiful Mayan ruins. A diverse group of castaways are divided into 2 tribes, and after those tribes are formed, the cast sees the welcome return of 2 fan favorites from Survivor Palau. Things start off with a brutal 11-mile hike through the Guatemalan jungle, and don't get any easier from there. In a cast that contains an ex-football player and an Ivy League student, everyone tries to keep their identity a secret to avoid being singled out by their teammates. Double crosses, tribe switches, and the introduction of a hidden idol keep things fresh and exciting for the 11th season. Watch as the castaways battle it out and discover for yourself who will be the sole survivor in this 5-disc set. This product is manufactured on demand using DVD-R recordable media from Amazon.com. The other Survivor title this week is Survivor Panama Exile Island. Survivor Panama, the 12th season in this series, takes place in the Pearl Islands off the hazardous coast of Panama. The tribes are divided 4 ways, according to age and gender, creating a game that is equal parts men versus women, as it is wisdom versus youth. After the 2 tribes are dissolved, a schoolyard pick forces the castaways to reveal their allegiances and favorites. Reviving the twist originally introduced in Survivor Palau, this season features exiles. Every week, one member from the losing tribe is banished to a separate island and given only a machete, a flint, and a pot of non-sanitized water to survive the harsh landscape. Despite its dangers, banishment has its perks because somewhere on that exile island is hidden the immunity idol. The tension mounts when a medical emergency brings one castaway's dreams of winning to an abrupt and dramatic end. Discover who will take their place as sole survivor in this 5-disc set. This product is manufactured on demand using DVD-R recordable media from Amazon.com. The next title this week is Rizzoli and Isles, the complete 2nd season, starring Sasha Alexander, Angie Harmon, and Lorraine Bracco. Homicide detective Jane Rizzoli and forensic pathologist Mara Isles are close friends, complete opposites, and on the case in all 15 gritty episodes based on the best-selling novels by Tess Gerritsen. Season 2 sees brash Jane healing emotional and physical scars as old loves reappear and her mother Angela deals with divorce. Meanwhile, Jane's ex-con brother Tommy has eyes for cerebral Mara, whose own family life is complicated by her adoptive mother Constance and a biological dad with a link to the mob. In an explosive season finale, Jane must choose between her job and Mara. Can their friendship survive? The next title this week is Teen Wolf Season 1, starring Tyler Posey, Dylan O'Brien, and Crystal Reed. A somewhat awkward teen is attacked by a werewolf and inherits the curse itself, as well as the enemies that come with it. And the last title from TV to your DVDs and Blu-rays this week is The River, the complete 1st season, starring Bruce Greenwood, Joe Anderson, and Paul Blackthorne. Embark on a thrilling journey as Oren Peli, director of Paranormal Activity, and executive producer Steven Spielberg bring chilling legend and lore to life. Paranormal thriller The River follows the story of the world-famous wildlife expert and TV personality Dr. Emmett Cole, host of the beloved series The Undiscovered Country. After Cole goes missing deep in the Amazon, his friends, family, and crew set out on a haunting and treacherous adventure to find him. Led by his wife Tess and estranged son Lincoln, the rescue mission will lead them deep in the unexplored regions of the Amazon River. A place where nature is cruel, magic is real, and nothing is what it seems. Uncover the agent secrets of the Buena in the heart-pounding first season of ABC's The River, and dive deeper into the mystery of never-before-seen bonus features. The shocking truth is waiting to be discovered, if you dare. And we'll wrap up this week's home entertainment slate with Blu-rays from the past. The first title on our list is actually 4. It's a Lethal Weapon Complete Collection, an action crime series celebrating its 25th anniversary. Does anybody else feel old now? Starring Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. The first title is Lethal Weapon from 1987. A veteran cop, Murtaugh, is partnered with a young homicidal cop, Riggs, both having one thing in common: hating working in pairs. Now they must learn to work with one another and stop a gang of drug smugglers. Lethal Weapon is rated R. The next one is Lethal Weapon 2 from 1989. Riggs and Murtaugh are on the trail of South African diplomats who are using their immunity to engage in criminal activities. Lethal Weapon 2 is rated R. The next one, of course, is Lethal Weapon 3. That's from 1992. Martin Riggs and Roger Murtaugh pursue an arms dealer who is a former Los Angeles Police Department officer. Lethal Weapon 3 is also rated R. And the last title on the list is Lethal Weapon 4 from 1998. With personal crises and age weighing in on them, LAPD officers Riggs and Murtaugh must contend with a deadly Chinese crime lord trying to get his brother out of prison. Lethal Weapon 4 is, you guessed it, rated R. The next title this week is Certified Copy, a drama from 2010 coming to the Criterion Collection starring Juliette Binoche, William Shamel, and Jean-Claude Carrière. In Tuscany to promote his latest book, a middle-aged British writer meets a French woman who leads him to the village of Lucignano. While there, a chance question reveals something deeper. Certified Copy is unrated. And the last Blu-ray this week is A Bullet for the General, a Western from 1966 starring Gian Maria Volante, Klaus Kinski, and Martine Beswick. El Cuncho's bandits rob arms from a train, intending to sell the weapons to Elias's revolutionaries. They're helped by one of the passengers, Bill Tate, and allow him to join them, unaware he is an assassin working for the Mexican government. A Bullet for the General is not rated. The Weekly Podioplex will continue after this short podcast promo.
Here at the Center of Podcast Studies, we know the dangers of podcasting and what you should avoid. Here's a sample.
I don't know, it works. Yes, I got it back. I got every bit of it.
It's small, fast, does hex and block edits.
Oh, that's a good idea. I didn't think about that last time.
We're your Geek Morning Show.
That's the thing about podcasts. We can be up any time.
Don't listen to this while operating heavy machinery. You could spit out your water. I wonder what you'd get. Okay, I'm going to stop right there and make my comment.
Hey, wake me up when you're done.
I completely missed that one.
The writers of Back to the Future didn't see that one coming. Thanks, man. I had to think about that.
For your own research materials, visit chuckchat.com/technorama. Protect yourself.
Welcome back. Now we'll take a look at the Netflix streaming new releases from the May 20th through May 26th. May 20th has one title, that's Dawson's Creek, a TV drama that ran from 1998 to 2003 starring James Van Der Beek, Katie Holmes, and Michelle Williams. 4 friends in a small coastal town help each other cope with adolescence. May 21st is an empty day, but May 22nd has 9 titles. The first is Digging to China, a drama from 1998 starring Evan Rachel Wood, Kevin Bacon, and Mary Stuart Masterson. 10-year-old Harriet dreams of leaving her home, where she doesn't feel she is needed by her mother and sister Gwen. When her mother dies in a car accident, she really starts to make plans for leaving, and she finally does so, together with her childlike but mentally ill friend Ricky. Digging to China is rated PG. A crime drama from 1997 starring Nancy Allen, Lance Henriksen, and Scott Lincoln. The young daughter of a tough female ex-agent is held ransom for giving up a top-secret information file which outlines the layout of a buried nuclear arms site being held as garbage under a government-restricted site in the desert. But to discover this, she must go to the area, and there, with some unexpected help, encounters the kidnappers in a daring shootout finish. Last Assassins is rated R. The next title is Never Too Late, a drama from 1997 starring Olympia Dukakis, Jean Lapointe, and Jan Rubes. 4 old friends reunite to investigate the death of a good friend. Never Too Late is rated PG. Next up we have The Serpent's Kiss, a drama from 1997 starring Ewan McGregor, Greta Sashi, and Pete Postlethwaite. Young Dutch architect Meneer Krome comes to a remote English estate where Thomas Smithers lives with his wife Juliana. Smithers is determined to leave a fabulous garden as his legacy, carved from a wild patch of land beside his home, but someone else wants to bankrupt him and steal his wife. The Serpent's Kiss is rated R. Next up, we have Never on Tuesday, a comedy from 1988 starring Claudia Christian, Andrew Lauer, and Peter Berg. Matt and Eddie are two young men from the Midwest traveling to California to see the sights, primarily semi-clad women on beaches, that is. They hop in the car and head off into the desert, lose control, and collide with the only car they've seen for miles. The driver of the other car is the most beautiful woman they've ever seen. That's serendipitous. Never on Tuesday is rated R. The next up is Tripping Forward, a comedy from 2009 starring Chris Fogelman, Amber Benson, and William Gregory Lee. Two down-on-their-luck roommates sell cocaine to supermodels. Tripping Forward is rated R. Next up is Phil the Alien, a comedy starring Rob Stefanak, Nicole DeBoer, and Brad McGinnis. Phil the Alien crashes to Earth and finds himself alone in the woods of northern Canada. In the process of going home, he goes from drunk to Christian rock singer to mass murderer. Phil the Alien is rated R. The next title is Lost in Siberia, a drama from 1991 starring Anthony Andrews, Vladimir Ilin, and Yelena Majorova. This is a political drama about Stalin's police camp system in Russia. Lost in Siberia is not rated. And the last title from May 22nd is Marine Life, a comedic drama from 2000 starring Sybil Shepherd, Peter Outerbridge, and Alexandra Purvis. Marine Life revolves around the chaotic family life of June, a middle-aged lounge singer and mother. June is trying to hold on to her career, her beauty, her children, and her most recent love, Robert, a tender but slightly confused younger man. To escape the world, June makes frequent trips through the car wash, singing her heart out. Marine Life is not rated. May 23rd has one title, that's Abelard, Tales of the Ancient Empire, an action-adventure film from 2010 starring Kevin Sorbo, Michael Paré, and Melissa Ordway. A princess is on a quest to unite the 5 greatest warriors to save her kingdom from a demon sorceress. Abelard, The Tales of an Ancient Empire is rated R. May 24th also has one title, that's A Mother's Love, a comedic drama from 2011 starring Rolanda Watts, Amantha Damali, and Julian Starks. Regina Reynolds is a strong black woman in the truest sense, but her taste for the good life didn't necessarily include her husband Marcus or her daughter Monica. It truly takes a mother's love from Georgia to bring her down to earth. A Mother's Love is not rated. May 25th also has only one title, that's National Lampoon's The Legend of Awesomest Maximus, a comedy from 2011 starring Christiana Loken, Rip Torn, and Will Sasso. Epic? Fail? You decide. National Lampoon's The Legend of Awesomest Maximus is not rated. And May 26th has 2 titles to round out the week. The first is The Heir Apparent, Largo Winch, an adventure thriller from 2008 starring Tomer Sisley, Kristen Scott Thomas, and Miki Milojinovic. After a powerful billionaire is murdered, his secret adoptive son must race to prove his legitimacy, find his father's killers, and stop them from taking over his financial empire. The Heir Apparent Largo Winch is not rated. The last title this week from Netflix is Henry's Crime, a comedic crime drama from 2010 starring Keanu Reeves, Vera Farmiga, and James Caan. Released from prison for a crime he didn't commit, an ex-con targets the same bank he was sent away for robbing. Henry's Crime is rated R. And now I'll wrap this up with 2 items in the Quick Flicks. The first item is actually going to be a link in the show notes. It leads you to the Skyfall official teaser trailer. Skyfall being the 3rd James Bond film starring Daniel Craig and the 23rd overall in the franchise. The link actually contains 2 trailers. The first is that teaser trailer that outlines the basic plot description. Bond's loyalty to M is tested as her past comes back to haunt her. As MI6 comes under attack, 007 must track down and destroy that threat, no matter how personal the cost. The second is what they're calling a super trailer. Really what it is the teaser trailer backed up with the trailer for the new James Bond video game coming out called 007 Legends. Skyfall is scheduled for a domestic release here in the United States on November 9th and over in Europe on October 26th. The other news item this week might be a little disappointing if you're a G.I. Joe fan. Things were going really well for G.I. Joe Retaliation. The fandom was responding really well to the trailers. The director, John True, was talking about how awesome the movie was and how much he wanted to see it as a G.I. Joe fan. The release date was right around the corner, June 29th, about a month away from now, and everyone who wanted to see this movie is getting really excited about it. And then Paramount decided to pull the rug. They've decided that they're going to bump the film back 9 months, from June 29th to March 29th, 2013, all for the sake of a 3D conversion. Now, the studio executives are claiming they're going to do a conscientious 3D job because they've seen how much better it can make the box office internationally. The bad news, of course, is that they're sacrificing all that positive buzz they've generated, all for the sake of the international box office. On the positive side, June 29th is really close to the release date for The Amazing Spider-Man, which now has a chance to completely overrun the box office just like the Avengers did, and bring Spider-Man back with a vengeance. If you want to discuss anything you heard on this week's edition, please take a moment to get in touch. You can surf on over to chronicrift.com and leave a note in the forums. You can leave a voicemail at 888-866-9010, or you can write to John at chronicrift.com. You can follow us on Tumblr, tweet us on Twitter, check into the network on GoatGlue, watch the classics on Funny or Die, give us a thumbs up on Stitcher Radio, and leave us a review on iTunes. You can also find the Weekly Podioplex and the Chronic Rift on Facebook and Google+. If you decide to pick up this week's new releases, why not do it through our Amazon store? You get the newest entertainment at Amazon's low prices and high-quality service, and each purchase you make through the store supports the Chronic Rift. Look for the link in our show notes. The Weekly Podioplex is a Lucky Shot production and is produced by John S. Drew. This is Michael Falkner. Thanks for listening. I'll see you at the theater. Next up is the home entertainment slate for the week of May 22nd. Man, who writes these show notes?
That's a wrap!